Greetings and welcome back to the lab. Time for another episode of Spare Parts, where I basically take apart something that may no longer be fully functional and see what kind of parts I can harvest off of it. Or, in some cases, I go for a walk and I spot something on the side of the road. That would explain this one. This was the solar panel and control circuitry, which interestingly enough still has the protective coating, I think, on top of the solar panel, which is chipping off. But this was on the side of the road. Somebody threw out their umbrella, and it was one of those umbrellas that had the lights on it. So I took this off. I figured they're getting rid of it. And so let's see, we can get we've got a connector. That could be useful. Let's grab a screwdriver and see if we can't take this apart. I'm guessing there has to be a battery in here. I can test the battery. And there's a solar panel. I can probably test and see if the solar panel is producing any power. I didn't take the lights, but I've got plenty of LEDs and other stuff that I can power. And now that I've gotten the stealth light, I'm thinking about the cat. That's another video coming up. But I've got the stealth lights working, so that's good. I wanted to power them with solar, and maybe I'll figure that part of it out later. But the first real task there was just simply getting the lights to actually work. So let's see if I've managed to get... I've got 2 out of the 4 out of there. Let's see about getting the other 2 out. Doesn't feel quite so cheap. That's a good thing. I don't know what brand this was, but now let's see if we can figure out how to take it apart. It looks like it snaps together right here. So let's grab... I need to get a better spudger than this. I should probably put that on the Amazon wish list. But this was actually for the batteries for when I replaced the laptop batteries and then harvested the old cells. Okay, pretty simple circuit board. And what looks to be a AA battery. Nickel metal hydride, AA 1600. That's not too bad. Let's pull out the charger and we'll get it started charging. Then we can try and figure out some of the other stuff. So here's the charger. As other things fall. Oop, didn't light right up. Is it plugged in? Yeah, it's plugged out. There we go. Or do we? That may be so dead. Oh, there we go. 1.3 volts. Fully charged. Well, it says 63%. We're just going to let this run, and in a little bit I'm going to change the mode so that it can go into test mode, and I'll put down in the comments what the final result ended up being. Meanwhile, we want to see if we're getting anything off of the solar panel. And interestingly enough, it looks like we've got a little microcontroller and some other stuff, so there are probably some effects to these lights, and there's what, 4 pins on that connector? So it's not simply positive and negative. There was probably 3 strings of lights with a common negative or something like that. There's no way to exactly know without knowing what brand this was, which I haven't determined, but I actually just noticed there's room for another battery here. And I think I've got some contacts. I could actually put another battery in here if I wanted to, and that would give me more power. There's also what appears to be another connector. Does it mention anything? Not really. Okay, B1 plus, B1 minus, B2 plus, B2 minus. So I know exactly where I would wire in the other battery. This is some interesting stuff. There's a coil here, so I'm guessing it's a step up. Don't know if it produces 5 volts or 12 volts. various resistors and a diode. Okay, so they're probably smoothing. Yeah, there's a diode and a capacitor, so I'm guessing it's a boost circuit, but they're also smoothing it so that they can have blinking lights or something like that. Anything that has a chip built into it that would get reset every time it... Because with a boost circuit, what you get is, instead of a smooth sort of DC line running across here, what you're actually getting is a spike, and then a spike, and then a spike. But overall, it ends up averaging out to a higher voltage. So something like that. That's how the boost circuit works. But if you put the diode and the capacitor on there, then the capacitor will help you keep that peak running across at the top there. I hope that kind of made some sense. So let me go grab my multimeter and we'll see if we can detect anything coming off the solar panel. Now I'm going to go ahead and set this up for test mode. There we go. So what that'll do is it will fully charge it, then drain it and determine how much capacity it has, and then recharge it so it'll be ready to go. So that'll help with that. Let's see if I can figure out where the solar panel comes in. Now I've got... It's all black wires here, but there's one wire here coming from the battery. This appears to be solar here. Does it say solar plus? Yes, it does. Solar plus and solar minus. So what I can actually do is I grab things just off frame. I'm going to try and get some... Can I use that? I think I can. Okay, so I've got a minus. And hook the minus up here. This may be a little confusing for those of you that are used to certain color codes. Oh, that's not going to work too well, is it? So I have another one. Not convenient. Okay. Whoops. All right. I can probably connect the negative to my probe. There we go. And I can hold the positive on there while I turn this upwards, and we see if the voltage goes up or not. Yeah, it's not holding on too reliably. I'm going to get it up closer to my studio lights. And as I come away, it drops. So yeah, I'm getting... Alright, looks like I'm getting, and this is kind of hard for me to coordinate here. 1.3, 1.5-ish, something like that. And then if I cover up the panel, it'll drop down. Yeah. So that's a confirmation we are getting something out of the panel. But what's interesting is whoever owned this originally, it's like they didn't bother to peel the thing off. So that's probably blocking some of it. I can try and wash some of that off, and I'll put down in the description if I get more voltage out of it. But that's at least confirming that the panel does work. So I've got a usable solar panel. I've got usable connection for a battery. I don't know the condition of the battery. And then later I can figure out whether or not there's anything interesting coming out of these pins here on this interface. I can at least use this to break it out. And then later I can, I don't know, extend this to whatever else. So, I mean, I could do a project out of this. So this is not that bad for spare parts. So that's where we are on that. Like I said, I'll put some additional results down below. Oh, that's interesting. This just stopped. I'm going to have to see if that's a problem or not. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put some results down below. And thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. More projects to come.